I said ever since I've actually entered the community, I'm the only person in the entire of the UK community who's never even moved down one spot on the PR. I've never ever moved. I've only gone up and I've stayed at number one. I've never moved down even one spot.
So big. All right. Yeah, I guess I'll just start being an interviewer then, because I've never interviewed someone in my whole life.
Yeah. We're taking. We could do double takes if anything goes wrong. If you need something, the audio to be a bit clearer, I can just say the answer from the beginning, or
Yeah.
we can just do it as it comes, basically. If you want something to be a bit clearer, or just you want to redo something, even if it's the same question, we can just do it again.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you want to get the content looking clean, so.
Yeah. In the end, it's like I just need like a little bit of video, mainly audio. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll just start with the really, really fucking basic questions. Can I ask when did you actually start playing? I don't think I even know this.
I'm pretty sure I started playing in 07. When I checked on Smashboards, it said I joined Smashboards on 07, but I think I started playing in late 06 with my friend P Dot, who was originally going to tournaments and he was hiding it from me. So he was going to tournaments, hiding it from me, coming back playing with me, being better. And then this is before I knew about any advanced tech. So I didn't know about L canceling, I didn't know about wave dashing, and he was hiding it, and he would going to tournaments and then getting better, and then he came back to me eventually told me, and then I was basically just like saying, why you like we were kind of bantering, saying like, why are you sneaking off, going to tournaments to try and get better. And then I ended up joining the Smashboards, and that's where it pretty much started in 07. So I really would say I started in 07, early 07.
I see. That kind of like answers my second question, which was why you started playing. But
yeah,
so you're mainly playing with this friend then.
Yeah. So I was ultra casual playing, and back in the day, you had to remember that we had no YouTube, so people didn't know about the scene. Everyone pretty much thought that everyone had that friend who thought they were the best in the world, because you had no YouTube to go back and look at all of these players. So just imagine a world where there's no YouTube and you're playing with your friends, and you probably think that you're one of the best in the world. That was extremely common back then. So all of us thought we were super duper good. I thought I was good, and then my friend was sneaking off, getting better, and then coming back and then weirdly changing the way he played, and then he eventually admitted that he was going to tournaments and learning all of these techniques.
That's so funny. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's kind of a weirdly, in a way, like similar to what I started. I started by like doing I just like found melee, and we were playing like with my mates, and I was just like, I'm gonna learn the techniques and then come up to them and not do any of them until I know them how to do them properly. And then when I didn't know how to do them, I just sprung it on them.
Yeah.
I just find it really funny. Oh, okay. So yeah, we briefly talked over like messages about it, but you said you think you were ranked number one before 2014?
Yeah, like I feel like I was ranked number one before 2014, but that was when it's officially on paper. So I think it's fairest to go with that. But I'm pretty sure there was a streak where I was just beating Fuzzy and everyone agreed that I was number one. But we weren't as organized back then, so we weren't doing routine, a season's gone, now we have to do the PRs again. It was pretty much just like, enough times passed, should we do it? And then people were like, yeah, and then it got delayed, and then eventually it got done, and it was very, very biased depending on what region you were on. So that's why we don't really have any earlier rankings. But because we don't, I feel like the fairest is just to go with 2014. That's when I was number one.
That makes sense. I was just kind of curious about the details of it all, really.
Yeah.
Because before 2014, it's just lost to time.
Yeah.
Unless I've got his bis to tell me about.
Yeah.
Those times.
Yeah, it's kind of just lost in the wind, I guess. Unless someone finds some extremely like weird post somewhere, but until that point, I think I
have friends who are like playing at that time, I'm actually a little bit mad because I could have got into the game when I was like 11 or like 12, because I went to the card shop I played had like my friends playing in the corner. Like a
Oh,
TV.
okay.
And
Yeah.
I saw it. I was like, oh, I love that game, but I'm too scared to join in and play because they're older than me, and I'm terrified of them. It's a similar kind of thing. So, what was it like having a streak like the streak in the UK that you had that everyone wants to talk about? You not losing a tournament to a UK player for 5 years. What was it like to have a streak like that? Did you ever like get bored of your region in a way? A bit. I mean, like Leffen always complains about Europe. Like, did you ever get bored of
Trying to
the
think.
UK?
I think I never got bored of the community because I've always liked the UK. I've always thought we've had the best community by quite a big margin. Competition-wise, I think I did have moments when I got bored, but wait, can you hear that?
I heard that, but it's fine.
Okay. I'll wait till that goes fast.
Oh no!
Yeah, I said I'll
I
start again. So I said, what was the question again? Wait.
I just said, what was it like to have the streak? I mean, the streak as long as it was. Like,
Yeah.
Did you ever get bored?
Yeah. So the streak was I feel like I didn't really feel it that much until the end. There was a point where Fuzziness stopped attending, and then I would always just beat VA. It was so it was really weird. I would beat him, and the most he would ever do was take one set off of me in like winners finals. But then he would always like, choke it, and that just became like the thing, I guess. So I was like pretty much not threatened by anyone, and then I think after a while I even started to like question like how I would feel if I did lose it, but I think I was pretty just like pretty normal and kind of accepting like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna win, like this is how it is. So it was like a weird kind of just acceptance of I guess this is just how things are gonna be, because you have to think about it in perspective. You kind of see the players who are good and them coming up. So if you see no one coming up and you're beating the players you already beat, you're just thinking, okay, this is just how it is. Someone like randomly has to explode upwards for you to even be threatened, because it's not like a regular game where someone completely random is just going to come along and dominate you. Once you've already set yourself in stone, unless you visibly see someone when they're growing, you kind of just accept like, okay, this is how things are going to be from now on. So I was just like kind of accepting of it, that I was just probably going to hold the streak, because there was only like 2 players or maybe 1 that could have ended it, and it didn't seem like they were going to.
Okay, well that's really funny because that ties exactly into the next question, because on that going, what did it feel like to see Frenzy? I would say Sechi, but it's not part of the video because like actually kind of came up in tandem, but I'm gonna keep it on Frenzy. So what was it like seeing, Frenzy on that come up? Was it like a hopeful thing? Like,
Frenzy was a weird one, because at the beginning he was such a mega rager. He was so salty, and there's certain people that as bad as it sounds, there's certain people that you look at and then you kind of put them in the category of that they're probably not gonna be like that good. They're probably gonna be a salty person forever. And I think I definitely put Frenzy in that category. I just kind of put him in the category of, okay, you're okay, but you're probably just gonna be some salt lord growing up, and then randomly he just started getting better, and I don't even remember when it was. It was all a blur. Like the earliest moment I can remember him performing really well was when we were in America, and he beat the Kirby, and there was all of us popping off in the background, and then from then on, I think he started to perform better on a worldwide scale. And then there was points where I knew, okay, he's probably gonna end up like beating me eventually. And I think it's when he took the first set. I can't remember when it was.
I believe
he took a first set of me at a tournament.
Today it was Glen Assist 2, I believe was his. Well, no, his
okay.
Sorry, the first set was the first set was it was short hop pair.
Was it in Birmingham? Yeah. Short hop pair. Yeah, he took the first set off me ever, and I think I was pretty happy for him back then. And then I beat him in grand finals. And then from that point, I think it was pretty clear that, okay, now I have someone that's gonna make me a bit worried. I don't think at that point I was willing to say he would beat me in a tournament because ego. But I think I think I kind of accepted that I probably have someone now that is gonna take sets off of me, which is where it starts.
Yeah, it actually took him 2 years after that to take another
Wait,
step.
2 years? I
Yeah.
didn't even know until
Yeah,
then.
fun
That's
fact.
you took it. Okay,
It
it's
actually,
pretty.
it was actually. So I made sure to double check everything. 2017 took a set from you, then took 2019 for him to get another one.
Okay.
Because it was.
I held it down pretty good.
Like
I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back that I held. I held it down for 2 years. For I've always been pretty good at when it comes to like the ultra clutch moments against the UK for some reason, just like clutching it out, and I don't know if that's from me or from them being like scared.
Yeah, I feel like
but
it must be from them sometimes.
yeah, but anytime I play them, I just always seem to come out on top the majority of the time for whatever reason, and Frenzy's been the only one to really break that.
Yeah, that's sick. I guess I had 2 more questions after that.
Even if it's the same
They were
overlapping question, we could just answer it again.
You kind of answered them all in there, so
We
I
can
had
answer it again because I might be
question-
able to expand on it better anyway. So
No, yeah, I mean, you kind of said that. I asked my next question was, did you know he's gonna? There's a point where you knew he was gonna beat you, but like, yeah, that's kind of.
Oh
like,
yeah,
you already
yeah.
answered that, so that's fine. We don't really need to go more into that, I think.
Mm.
In the I don't know if I actually clarified, but I'm probably not gonna use like large chunks of this. I'm probably gonna use like.
Yeah, I
very, like,
figured you
little
were gonna cut it
snippets, and
down.
a lot of it's
I
kind
didn't.
of just like to inform the script as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, yeah. And then I had like I don't know if you actually said it. Did you? My next one was like, were you excited by that concept, or was it like, were you excited?
Yeah. I at the beginning, I think, like on paper, when I was winning, I would always say, "I'm excited. I'm excited." Like I really want someone to be able to beat me. But then when it came, I was excited, but I was also like slightly worried. So it's like I was saying one thing, but I was also feeling another, and it was a very hard like thing to deal with. The fact that I was like there saying that I wanted competition, but when it came, like I was like really nervous. It's like, did I want it, or did I just want to hold on to my number one without being threatened? But when I finally did lose and I was like pretty okay with it, it made me realize, okay, I do actually prefer it being this way. I prefer the challenge being there. So in the end, at the beginning, I was very worried about everything, but by the end, I actually did realize it was the competition that I always did want.
Sick. Kind of
Yeah.
also tying in again. It's funny how I like all these questions actually kind of almost lead into each other because you said it. I remember I feel like watching back to this, so I went back to the Nang 2 set and the interview afterwards as well. And you mentioned pretty much what you just said that you were happy that it kind of happened.
Yeah.
I kind of want a bit more information about like during the set. Like, do you remember much you felt about like the first, like the set where like that streak ended? Like, because I watched back the set. Do you remember it? Because I can jog your memory.
Yeah, I do remember.
Was,
You're talking about the Nang one,
Yeah, because the first one was a close game 5, and the second set was you were up 2-0, and it was a reverse 3-0, which is obviously the fucking worst.
Wait, you reverse 3-0'd me?
Yeah.
Actually, no, I didn't even know.
Everyone knows. But yeah, like, do you? I mean, so you don't remember? You might not remember. Then my question was like, what were you feeling during the set? Like, was there a moment where you kind of felt like it was almost happen? Like you just like you couldn't get the momentum back.
I definitely remember because like I don't even remember if I have headphones on during that set, but in general the talk was always about am I going to lose the tournament, so that was in the back of my head because I feel like it's kind of impossible for it not to be, because how many people were talking about it before, the crowd. So it was going through my head, and there was definitely nerves there because at the end of the day, it is UK history. It's like, am I gonna allow something monumental to happen, or will it just be what I've done my entire life, which is win the UK tournament? Yeah, so I do remember me being pretty nervous because it was kind of an iconic UK moment. Am I like finally gonna lose a tournament to someone else after all of these years? So yeah, I think it's kind of hard to not be nervous in that scenario because especially if you care about the game, so which I did and do.
Yeah. Did you like? You didn't really remember there was like a reverse 3-0, but like, did you ever feel like it got to a point during that set where you're like, I don't know if I can stop this.
Not specifically that, because I always feel like I could come back, but there might have been a specific moment in the game where I was like, this might be over, but not like the actual set. Normally during the set, I always feel like I can bring it back somehow, but
Yeah.
during the game, I can't remember. Maybe during the game, I was like, this might be done.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Okay. Our brief mention of COVID era Melee. Because during COVID, we didn't like see all that much of you. I don't feel like.
Yeah.
You like played in like a couple same tournaments, kind of like it came with an invitational at one time. But yeah, I didn't see much of you. Did you feel like were you? I'm just kind of curious. Were you playing much?
I was, but I really hated the COVID era. Like, it reminded me of what I like about the game and what I don't like about the game. And the parts that I do like about the game is being able to compete in real life and seeing people and everything that comes with a actual offline competition. And the online competition, it was just like me sitting in my room. Just even when I won an event, it didn't feel the same. I think it's maybe because of the era that I grew up in. I grew up in 07, going to Smash Fest, playing with people, and that's all I knew.
Yeah.
And then when that was taken away from me, it took a big element away from me. It made me realize that I do like Melee, but if Melee was always this from the beginning, I probably wouldn't have been playing it anywhere near as much. So
Yeah, that makes sense. So you didn't feel like you were like solo practicing much? Or...
I was solo practicing a bit, but I never really had much motivation to enter a tournament because it didn't feel worth it. It didn't feel worth it the same way. And I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just about being distant from the person that you're actually playing against.
Yeah.
It's just something about it that makes me I'm not drawn to it like I am to offline tournament. Because I've never watched an offline tournament on Twitch and been like, I'm so sad I'm not in this tournament. But that's happened so many times when I've watched like a major with an American tournament or a European tournament. If I was to watch a major like offline tournament, I would be like, and I'm not there, I would want to be there. But I've never ever watched a online tournament and been like, oh, I can't believe I didn't enter this. So there must be something there that's just keeping me away from it.
Yeah, it's a whole different ball game. It's like it feels like it amplifies the losses to like 100 times.
Yeah.
And then like you don't feel anything when you win either. It does.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Sucks, like overall, nearly through all myself.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Going through to Myth 2. Because that's the fun one.
Yeah.
So Myth 2, Frenzy lost to Max.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bit
because like you went to the tournament and everyone was like, oh, it's the fucking decider one. Everyone's excited. It's like, oh, number one, what's it gonna be? And then Frenzy fucking drops the ball and loses to Max when it's semis.
Yeah.
Were you worried at all that he wouldn't make it back, or like?
I wasn't even close to worried he wouldn't make it back. I remember the moment that he dropped down. As soon as I was sitting in grand finals when I beat Max, I got a Falco immediately, and I was like, let's just play. Frenzy's gonna win. I didn't even watch the set. I was just like, Frenzy's gonna win. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna play Frenzy. I was so sure that he would win, and there was no chance that Max was gonna beat him 2 times in a row. And my preparation was just Falco, because I knew he would be back exactly where it should have been. Also, I could talk about a little moment before that.
Yeah.
We're basically going into the bracket, I was pretty worried because I wanted to play Frenzy so bad, and I had a Biv in my bracket because a Biv lost to Squeechu in pools. And if you don't know, I was kind of tilted at the beginning because a Biv was originally meant for Frenzy. And I was like, Frenzy does pretty bad versus a Biv. He might lose. And then he lost in pools, and then I had to play a Biv. And I remember before I went into that set, in my mind, I literally said, I want to play Frenzy so badly. I have to beat this guy. I have to beat him. And I never really think that way, but whatever way I put my mindset in, it was like, okay, this has to be done. I really want to fucking play Frenzy right now. That I'm gonna beat him, yeah. And I kind of beat him like really convincingly, which is very rare. And afterwards, when I went up to the set, when I beat Abiv, I went straight up to Frenzy, and I said, you don't realize you actually made me win that set because I wanted to play you so badly, and he just kind of laughed. So it was there was like such a weird dynamic that I've never felt before, where I was like, I wanted him to get to grand finals so badly, which is why when he lost to Max, I knew he would be there, and I wanted to get to the grand finals so badly that every single set I was playing, it was just because normally you can have distraction sets where you're thinking about playing someone else and it throws you off completely, but it did the exact opposite this time. It was like, I'm thinking about playing Frenzy, so you actually need to get out of my way, and I'm gonna destroy you in bracket, yeah. And that's how I felt going into like nearly every set. It was all about, I need to get past you because I need to play Elliot, and we need to settle this like for the final tournament. That's how I felt. It was very peculiar. I've actually never felt that way in a tournament before, and me being in that mindset is normally always a distraction, but for some reason this time it was like some power up. It was very weird.
That's so fun. That's sick. That's honestly really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that. That was actually sick.
Yeah.
That's super sick.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not making a video of something made up.
Yeah, no, that actually happened. Yeah, I really vividly remember it when I went into the set with a beer.
Yeah,
because I was actually kind of worried about him because it was like, you know, the whole Marv Fox thing, but I remember I was like, I have to beat you. You have to get out of the way, like, because I need to play Frenzy. So, and then it ended up working and I 3-0'd him. So, and apparently he was really salty afterwards. Ty told me he was very salty. He was like, he really wanted to beat me. I was like, get fucked. So,
oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. I guess only thing really left to talk about that tournament then is the actual grand finals.
Yeah.
I guess I could ask what like you're thinking during the first set or like any of it, but I think you kind of summarized that already. Like, you just fucking wanted to.
Yeah, I actually, unlike the Nang one, I actually remember this one a lot more exactly what I was thinking.
Right? It was only a couple months
ago. The very first set, I was like, okay, let's make this a good one. And then I felt like I was underperforming during the first set, and I don't know what it was, but I think I was just thinking about what it was, and it was nothing to do with the name tag above his name. It was nothing like, I like all of that stuff is funny, but it was just me thinking about what the moment was too much. Like, it was, am I gonna lose number one? That was so much in my head in the first set, and it was very, very hard to get out of, because I guess most of the time my experience in the community is being in scenarios which I'm kind of used to, and then just riding on that. But I've never been in a situation where you know, I'm not going to be ranked number one. So I feel like I was kind of experiencing like new like pressure that I've never felt, and it was really, really distracting during the first set. And I don't know what changed about it in the second set. The second set, I think I was just I remember I was pretty tilted.
Yeah, my question was like, I've got part of my script was is saying like, you after the first set you don't look phased at all in the camera. You just look like completely stoic. Like,
I feel like
drinking some water. You're trying to compose. I'm just kind of wondering what you're thinking after that first set. Like,
I may have looked stoic, but I think I was really just trying to recollect myself. So during after the first set, I was trying to recollect myself about what I can do to just play better the next set, because I was just really worried about you know, me losing basically. So, and during the second set I actually managed to recollect myself, and I did probably one of the best comebacks that I've done in grand final. Well, one among the best comebacks that I've done, which was 2 3-stock comebacks in a row in the last 2 games to clutch it out. And that's when I just went like ultra clutch mode somehow, and then I won.
Yeah. I do remember seeing those on the way home.
Yeah.
Because I was in the car on the way home, and the guy in the back of my car, Liam, you know Liam actually, yeah. Liam was in the back of my car. He was giving me the live like radio feedback of the grand finals, because obviously I was driving fucking like 3 hours home. And he's just like, oh yeah, Frenzy's up 3 stocks to 1. I'm like, cool. I don't know what keeps going. And he's like, 2 stocks to 1, 1 stock to 1. Prof 1. I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's like so weird to listen to. Just like, oh, okay, cool. We're just like,
Yeah.
And then it happened again. I was like,
Yeah.
what's going on here? But I mean, I'll probably just end up taking things from like your interview afterwards. Your and friend's interview was like pretty great to listen to after Myth 2, I think. But
Yeah.
if you have anything like to add about like what like the feelings after the set? Go ahead.
I remember the feeling I was feeling after the set was I was pretty like outside of my like performance. I think I was just like really happy with how things were in the UK. I was really happy to have, because me and Frenzy are actually really cool. I like Frenzy a lot. Like and I was just happy with the state of the community, that I had someone that was willing to push me like that, and that I could have just lost everything right there. That my whole years of being number 1 would have just been gone right there. Because I thought about it the other day, and I said, ever since I've actually entered the community, I'm the only person in the entire of the UK community who's never even moved down 1 spot on the PR. I've never ever moved. I've only gone up, and I've stayed at number 1. I've never moved down even 1 spot. And I was like, is this the first day that I'm gonna move down 1 spot on the PR? Which is kind of a weird thing to think about. Like, everyone in the whole of the UK history has either gone off the PR or moved down 1 spot, and I've never ever moved down 1 spot. So I was just thinking about, is this my first day? But after it was done and we spoke about it, I was thinking, and I was like, yeah, I'm actually just really happy with how things were, and I'm pretty sure things will continue to be hard in the future. But I also don't want to make it that hard, because that was a bit too stressful. It might be fun from a spectator's view, but it's not fun from my point of view. I would much rather beat him more convincingly. So.
I don't feel like it works out that way when it gets like that close in skill level, though, does it?
Yeah.
It's hard to beat someone convincingly, and it does happen with that matchup especially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much most of it. The only thing I wanted to add on the caveat, really, to add a little bit to the end of it, is do you feel like Max and Kingu have any kind of attempt at making this ranking season like I don't think like just making it messier? Do you feel like they have any kind of like sway over it? Especially Brighton, Max was like showing like definitely some good ability.
I feel like Kingu can do it. The thing with Max, I feel like Max will have a harder time versus me in the long run. So it's harder to see him being like at number 1. And I've told him this. So and I feel like Kingu is probably more of the favorite if there ever was to be a number 1 that wasn't me or Frenzy to be Kingu. And I feel like Kingu would do better versus Elliot or Frenzy on a longer time scale than Max would. And then maybe we have like the ultra curveball of Sechi returning or something like that. But yeah, I can't really see, if I'm honest, I can't really see Max becoming number 1. I can see a world where Kingu might be number 1, but I feel like things would have to change, and I feel like I'm pretty good at not allowing that stuff to happen. So we'll see how things go, but that will be I would say Kingu. If I was to, I give Kingu like maybe 10% more than Max of being able to do it, if there was like a way
they definitely seem to have like the potential to make the ranking at least a little bit, because I mean obviously losing to them is gonna affect the decision and stuff. Like,
let me say, I don't know if this is controversial or not, but I feel like there's a better chance of Max and Kingu becoming number 2 than it is for maybe it's not controversial to say, but I feel like it's more likely for them to become number 2 than them to become number 1. I can see a world where Elliot would drop down to number 3 to Kingu, but I can't see at the moment a world where Kingu is number 1, because you have to think about it, like these number one's not about winning the tournament. You have to win the majority of the time. So, is there a world where Kingu beats me and Frenzy the majority of the time? That's the I can't see it right now. And if you do upload this part, he's gonna be so salty listening to it. But that's the world that I see. But I also
I could end up just throwing up the whole interview for sake of it. Why not? I could just throw them both
yeah,
up
you
at
could,
the
you
end of
could.
it.
But I mean, I also didn't really expect. It's weird because I say that, but that everyone that I've I never really expected any of the players to get where they were in the beginning. So, like, why does my judgment really matter at the end of the day? Like, or I can only defend, like, I can only play as good as I can play, and then the rest of the players will do what they can do to get better. But I feel confident enough in my ability where I'm probably sure that Kingu won't be number one.
Yeah, I mean the question was more just like if they had the potential to mess it up, the season, rather than like necessarily take. I wasn't really like expecting anything like taking number one, just like messing up the ranking, or like, messing up anything that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much everything.
Okay. I hope you got a lot of good content and you make some good stuff from it.